Welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be working on the Charger project again. So in the last couple of videos I was working on the Grand Cherokees, stripping them down. The reason behind me buying them, if you haven't seen the videos, was I want to make this Charger all-wheel drive. I have been saying that since day one. Ever since I built the first Magnum, I wanted to build this one, and it's just been a long process to get here. So I got that 2018 Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. If you guys didn't see the video, go check it out. But the reason behind it was this 8 HP 95 transmission. These things hold over 1,000 horsepower. I also have the transfer case, the front and rear diffs, so we should be good to go. But before I do all that, I want to get the body sorted out. So what I'm going to be doing today is actually finalizing the inner structure from the Magnum and mating it up to the Charger, welding everything together and getting it 100% ready for the sheet metal. So as you guys saw in a couple of my other videos, my live streams, I was having a very hard time getting parts for this car, especially the wide body parts. I am working with the same dealership that I was working with before on the Challenger. It's moparonlineparts.com. And if you guys need any parts, they're very, very cheap. But my guy Benny there, he actually made this project possible. He pushed everything through. Dodge was just kind of dragging their feet with getting the parts approvals finished. So everything so far looks to be approved. It should be getting to the dealership this week and next week, with the exception of a headlight and some side skirts and some miscellaneous brackets, which if they're going to be a long time, I'll just have them shipped. But all the main structure, the inner structure, the quarter panels, the flares, all the bumpers, the front and rear bumper, the fenders, the fender flares in the front, are all on order, and it seems like they're on their way. So big shout out to them. If you need some Mopar parts, I would check them out. The link will be in the description. But that being said, let's get this process on the road. I just need to pretty much just cut everything so it all mates up really nice. I did start doing that last time, and this is one spot right here I did, but I need to just kind of trim it on the backside of the Magnum sheet metal. The same thing goes here. I need to trim this and then trim the backside, so everything just butts up really nice. So when I weld it, I'm not welding this huge gap. So let's get to work, get all this started, get it all welded, make sure everything is nice and straight, nice and centered. And like I've said before, the one reason I did it this way was because these towers right here for the Magnum actually will center everything on here. And the same thing goes for this. So once I do put some C-clamps on this, once it's sitting in the correct spot, it will all be nice and level, exactly how it's supposed to be, just like it would from the factory. So I just got done at the Denver U-Pull yard in Aurora, and I ended up having to come get the roof off the 300. I called them and they said the car was already crushed, but I came up here on a whim hoping that they didn't crush it and they're just lazy. And that's what happened. It was still there. So I finished cutting the roof off of that car. The reason why I needed this for the Magnum Charger project was because how this door sill is. So I need to use this structure of the 300 and then blend the Magnum into it. It just will work that much better, and all of this will line directly up because they are the same, and also they're the same in here, so I won't have to worry about any differences with door frames or anything like that. Also, when I was loading the roof, a subscriber that just recently subscribed to my channel came up and he helped me finish loading it. He also gave me a Gatorade, which I was pretty thirsty, which is pretty cool. His name is Wayne, and if you're watching this, thanks for the help. Finally back from Denver. There was actually quite a bit of traffic, but just finished unloading the 300 roof, and I'm really glad that I got this roof. At first, I didn't think I was going to need it after I initially got the doors. The reason being was I thought that the Magnum sheet metal and inner structure would work and I could make it work. But at the end of the day, I started lining stuff up closer and closer, and then I just didn't like how these shapes were dissimilar, and I would have had to fabricate a bunch more stuff. So what I'm going to have to do is pretty much what I did with the Charger, get the roof skin off of that that structure, get the, you know, all the outer skin off of the structure, then start pulling all the inner structure, and then I could get it to perfectly line up, and then I could weld it together, and then it'll be a lot cleaner than what I was planning on doing. I mean, this still would have worked, But at the end of the day, it was just kind of bothering me that these were, you know, these weren't going to perfectly line up. They butt up together really nice, but down here, the shapes are just really, really different. And I wanted the seal to fit on there really nice. And especially right here, this shape on the 300 and the Charger is actually the same. The only difference is where this line is. The Charger starts to go down, the 300 just goes straight. So I'm just going to graft it in, which means I'll probably actually have to pull a little bit more of this rail off, or maybe just section it somewhere down here. I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to section it, but I want to get all that stuff off of there so I can kind of look at it a little bit better. Once I get this door frame in for the 300C, then I will start making the Magnum hatch area fit to that. It's already fit to the car. Everything down here is perfect, but up here I just need it to fit a little bit better, and I want it to, you know, I want it to go together so it actually butts up nice. And when I weld it, there isn't a bunch of gaps and the shapes aren't dissimilar. Then I have plates and stuff in between it welded. I just want it to look good. I want it to be good. I want it to be safe. So let's get to work stripping that roof. going to end the Magnum Hellcat Charger build right here because I need my panel bond gun, which isn't here. I also need my inductor, which isn't here, and I need to go Harbor Freight and grab some more C-clamps. But I'm driving the Hellcat today, and I don't want to throw all that stuff in the Hellcat. So tomorrow I will get all that stuff, come down the shop, and weld all this together. But I'm really happy that we're at the point we are because I have everything that overlaps. As you can see, this copper paint right here is weld through primer. So you want to do this when you have a spot that overlaps and you can't actually paint it after you weld it together. The reason you do that is once everything's welded together, there's always that issue with moisture. Moisture rusts things, especially bare steel. Over time, rust bubbles paint or it'll rust all the way through, and it's just something you want to mitigate from the beginning. And that's really what the weld through primer accomplishes. So that being said, I have quite a few spots that are going to overlap. Down here, the spots right there, you can see that are still bare metal. You can almost see it because of light, but the bare metal right there, I will hit that with etching primer after it's welded because I can get paint on top of it, and it'll also get some more paint when I paint the car on top of it. But as you can see, the backside actually has the weld through primer, and the same thing goes for this area right here on both sides because this is the centerpiece on the inner and outer wheel well. So that just is sandwiched in between, and I never actually be able to get paint on the bare metal. Back here, I'll spray this with etching primer because that is up there. But we are very close. I already set this down. I had the old inner structure from the Charger, this Charger that came off, and I put the old quarter panel on. Everything lined up really nice and it looked really good. I just wish it was the wide body stuff because I could have literally had all the wide body quarter panels and stuff on this thing, spot welded and everything tomorrow, ready to go, ready to paint. But we are just waiting for that stuff from Dodge. So hopefully it comes really soon because I really want to get this thing done. But tomorrow I should be able to get all of this hatch down, glued and welded on, and also the door frames all finished up, which will be really nice because then I'll have pretty much a really good idea of what the car is going to look like. I did put everything on here and kind of looked it over, and I really like what it's going to look like. I also decided that the trunk that I'm going to use, I need to find a Charger trunk that has a camera but doesn't have a wing. So I was thinking about doing the rear wing on the trunk, and then for some reason, I just keep looking at them, and the more I look at those wings, the less desirable I think they are. So I'm not going to run the wing. It already has a little bit of a curve like a BMW, kind of like a little duckbill to the trunk. So I think that will be enough of a wing for the hatch anyway. But that being said, I'm going to end the video here, and hopefully we could get the parts from Dodge so I can get this thing busted out, get it in primer, get it painted. I'm really going towards a red on this car. I really want to do the Frostbite blue, but I keep looking at Mazda Soul Red, and I just feel like the color and how it goes with body lines will just make the car pop that much more. So it's going to be a very tough decision which color I'm going to paint this car. That being said, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, throw a comment below, share this video with your friends. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed because I'm close to 100,000 subscribers and I'll have to do something for that. I really appreciate everybody that has subscribed to the channel. And as always, see you guys next time.